day. This day has never been lived before. Ever. No. And this day is a gift to all of us. You know, sometimes we think because the sun is shining, that's a real gift. But when it's raining, that's a gift too. And often we just take all our days for granted. Don't we? But they will never come again. This day will never come again. There is a little poem called Normal Day. You may have heard it. I don't know who wrote it. Anonymous, I suppose, our prolific writer. But you know what? If I wrote some of these things that Anonymous has written, I'd put my name to them because they're beautiful. So this one is called Normal Day. Normal day. Let me be aware of the treasure that you are. Let me learn from you, love you, savor you, and bless you before you depart. Let me not pass you by for some quest that I might have, for some rare and perfect tomorrow. Let me hold you while I may, because it isn't always going to be so. There may be a day when I dig my fingers in the earth, or a day when I bury my face in the pillow, a day when I hold myself taut or lift my arms to the sky and want more than anything in the whole world for your return, O normal day, precious moment of life. A precious moment. And yet this is a normal day. Maybe nothing exciting is really happening in this day for you, but it's a brand new baby day. And so we must have then some brand new thoughts to match the day. Of all of the thoughts that we think, 64,000 thoughts a day, how many are new? Well, I know for me that there are some days that the old thoughts just keep circulating. And what do those old thoughts do for me? Not too much. Oh, I'm not saying that all my thoughts are bad thoughts. They're not. But some of them are stale. Some of them I have used and used and used, and they don't take me anywhere. Some of those thoughts just keep me stuck. You see, it isn't that we don't want a better life. It isn't that we don't want more excitement in our life. Or maybe, as one woman put it to me this week, no, I don't want excitement. I get plenty of that at work. What I want in my life is peace. When I get home at the end of a busy day, I want peace and I want time for me. It isn't that we don't want that. Of course we do. And we want to pursue our dreams. Well, then what gets in the way? Our fear. It's fear. It's being afraid that maybe we're not good enough, or maybe we don't deserve even that peace and quiet. Sometimes we think that we have to be a servant to everybody, have to keep everybody happy. Well, what about us? You see, maybe we're afraid that if we put too much emphasis on ourselves, that's a bad thing. Well, too much is. But we need to put an emphasis on ourselves because we need to take care of ourselves. Maybe we're afraid of letting go. And I think we all have a little bit of this. If you don't think you have, go look in your closet. I went to look in my closet this last week and I thought, you know, I've really cleared out a lot and I think I'm doing really well. And so as I'm looking through, whoops, what's that back there? I haven't worn that thing in 2 years. Why is it still there? We do have a problem with letting go. And we are also afraid of change. You like change? Most of us don't. I happen to like change. rearrange my living room, and I'm happy. Get it all mixed up, and I'm happy. I have a friend who emailed me this week, and she said, we just sold our home. We moved into a furnished condo, and she said, this is a real adventure. I love change. Well, I would hope that if I could find when or if I find myself in a place like that someday, I could say the same thing. This is an adventure. It truly is. Life is an adventure. It was Emmett Fox. If you've read anything of his, he wrote Sermon on the Mount. What a lovely book. And in that book he says, life is consciousness. It is all the ideas, the thoughts, the feelings, the knowledge that we hold within our minds. That's our consciousness. And then he says, and the deepest spiritual teaching is to be aware. To be aware of what we are holding in our consciousness. Jesus told us to stand by the straightened gate and to be in that narrow way. He's talking about focus. He's talking about our point of awareness. And asking ourselves, how are we living our lives? You know, this takes a little bit of introspection, contemplation, maybe a lot of quiet time. I don't know what it will take for you, but I know what it takes for me. Sitting myself down, getting myself quiet, and taking inventory. Getting myself real clear about what is not working and what I'm going to do about it. It's a very interesting thing. I love things like that because it brings me to a place where I know that there are things that I need to be doing. Last week, I talked about circumstance. How many of you were here and you heard me talk about circumstance? Oh, a few of you, that's good. See, I get stuck on a word. I love our English language because it takes words from other languages, meanings. And so the word stance, that's where I stand. And circum, that is what is all around me. And it suggests a circle. So there is a circle of our lives around each one of us. And I began to think about my circle and what's around me. Because you see, we form pictures in our minds. And so I don't know if any of you did this or not, but this is what disturbed me just a tiny little bit, is that my circle was very small. There was not enough wiggle room for my feet to move. And so what does that say? Does that say that this circle that is my life is not good? No. My life is very good. Does it say that I don't like my life? No, actually, I love my life. But what that says to me is that there is something more for me to do and to be. And if that's true for me, that's also true for you. And I say that because Spirit is always calling us, come up higher. There's always more for you to do and to be, always. In 1945, in December, close to an Egyptian city called Nag Hammadi, there were over 50 scrolls found in mystical Coptic writings. And these were writings that date way back to, I think it's 140 AD. What a found. How wonderful this is that we have these. And these are a collection of the sayings of Jesus. Now, some of those are duplicated in the Bible, but many are not. And so some of this collection we call the Gospel of Thomas. There is a teaching in that gospel that has grabbed a hold of me and will not let me go. I'm going to tell you what that is. It is most compelling. It says, if you bring forth what is within you, it will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, it will kill you. What does that mean? If you bring forth what is within you, it will save you. It will lift you. It will lift you into that higher place of consciousness where you are able to see more. What about Abraham when he was taken to the top of a hill and God said, I will give you all that you can see? He was on a hill. He was on a higher place in his consciousness. That's saving. Saving is lifting. If you do not bring forth what is within you, it will kill you. It's not going to strike you dead, but you will die a little every day of your life if you do not bring out what is within you. If you do not allow your outer life to match the truth that is within. And what is the truth? What is the truth that is within you? What do we say here? I am the light of the world. Thank you. I haven't said that recently, have I? Haven't reminded you. I am the light of the world. No, I didn't make that up. The Master told us that. You are the light of the world. Now, when you bring out what is within you, your light is shining. And other people look at your light and they say, wow, well, she can do it. Well, then I can do it too. You inspire people. It's the most marvelous thing to know that we can inspire each other. So there is this power within you. It's there all the time. It is that intelligent power that works behind the scenes of life. Your life and my life. Believe in it. Believe in it. Trust it. Have faith in it. And I have to say, what's faith? What is that? See, when I was growing up, it's like faith. Well, just have faith. Well, what does that mean? Faith is going to the edge of all the light you know, and then taking that step into the unknown. And you will find that your feet will either land on solid ground or what? You will be taught how to fly. Have you ever been taught how to fly? I have. And if I have, you have. Maybe you haven't been aware of it, but this power that lives within you, let me tell you what else it can do. It can move mountains. Did you know that? There might be a mountain standing in your path right now. An obstacle. When I have an obstacle that stands in my path, it can be something very little. It can be something huge. But with this power, that mountain can be moved. Without that power, I stand there helpless, lonely, and overwhelmed. That's not necessary. That's not the way to live life. Not at all. So this power then that is within us, we can access it by a vision. A vision, Jenny, a vision. Thank you. Because, you see, we have the power to set forth a vision, to stake a claim in this universal substance, to make a request. Have you written a vision for yourself of what you want your life to be? Have you? See, in the prosperity class, that's exactly what we're doing. We are writing a vision for ourselves. Did you read the Daily Word yesterday? It talked about a vision, and it described it as bold. Let your vision be bold. If it isn't, it's not big enough. If you could do this by yourself, that's not big enough. This has to be something that Spirit is going to help you with. You need the help of Spirit to accomplish this. So your vision then, you bring it in the present tense. Think of your life right now. Think of your life and what you would want to be different in your life. In your body, your relationships, your creativity, your finances. We'll start writing it down. Be bold. In the Daily Word it said, have this bold vision to manifest the life of your dreams. And if you have doubts, remind yourself that this dream is God-inspired. You wouldn't even have it if God hadn't given it to you. And when God gives you a dream, God gives you the means to fulfill it. Take God as your partner. You can do it. Believe in it. Have faith and trust. And open yourself to Spirit. We all remember Star Wars. Do you know that Star Wars was written like a parable? George Lucas, he said, may the Force be with you. Well, the Force is with us every day of our lives, every moment. But may the consciousness, the awareness of the Force, may that be with you. So we have this little character, this little guru-like character, Yoda. And I always thought he was so cute. And he said, the power is within you. It's not in some outside agency. And so here's Luke Skywalker then. He gets his vehicle stuck in the mud. And he is trying desperately to extricate this vehicle from this mud, and he's not having any success at all. Yoda comes along, levitates the vehicle, and puts it over on dry land. And Luke says, I don't believe it. Yoda says, and that is why you fail. Because you don't believe it. You don't believe that there is a power within you. See, Yoda is that symbol for that inner teacher within that says, yes, the power is within you, so believe it. And then put it into your life. That is where the vision comes in, to put it into your life. And so when you write this thing down, there might be a little voice inside of you that says, well, that's just all head stuff. Yeah, it is. It is. Where do we live? We live in our heads. We live in our minds. We live in our imagination. Have you ever stopped to think what a magnificent power this is? Our imagination, that we can picture what it is we want. And there's one other thing that you must do. One other thing. And that is to put your heart into it. Put your passion into this vision. Because when the head and the heart are together, that is how we create in this life. Your heart has to be there. What a magnificent power we have been given. Are we using it? And the only thing about this is we never ask how. Because how is up to Spirit. We don't ask that question. I know you've heard this little ancient Chinese story before, but that's what I want to close with. The one about the centipede and the dragon. Like that one? About this one-legged dragon that is out on a walk one day, and he sees this little centipede, and he stands there in fascination. All these little legs moving. And so he says to that little centipede, how do you do that? How do you manage all those legs I can barely manage one. And the centipede answers and says, in truth, I don't manage them at all. The implication is that there's something that manages this for me. There is something in our lives that manages all this for us. We can't breathe on our own. We can't digest our food on our own. We can't do anything on our own. The power lives in us. It does all this for us. It manages it all. And thank you, Harold, like you said. Now go on and have a wonderful day because God's in charge. How magnificent this really is. This is a brand new baby day. Put some brand new thoughts into this day and let them be good ones. Let them be powerful thoughts, optimistic thoughts. Commit to something. You know about commitment? I wish I could quote to you what W.H. Murray said about commitment, but I just paraphrase. He said, when you commit to something, there are unseen forces in this universe that work in your behalf. Things you never could have imagined that work for you, to see to it that what you have said you are going to do, it will come about. This brand new baby day, start writing your vision. As I say, make it a good one. Put everything you've got into it. And the best that you can put into your day is to let Spirit move through you. Let it move through you. One more thing I want to say about Spirit and the universe. See, the universe can't work with wishy-washy. It can't work with abstract wishes. It can't work with, oh, I just want to be happy. It can't work with that. It's got to have something specific. It's got to have something clear-cut. It's got to have that commitment. And the universe absolutely adores a commitment. The universe also can't work with this. It can't work with tight-fisted. It can only work with this. To allow your life to flow through Spirit. To allow Spirit to express, to press out through you. Well, I said I was going to be done. So I'm going to be done. This is a brand new baby day. Make the most of it. Namaste.